Drink.
Hello, hello. Good morning, Starshines. Welcome, welcome. I'm just getting doing some refreshing here. There we go. Okay, hello. Hi. Thank you, Cheryl, so much for the resub. Appreciate it. 13 months. I cannot believe it. And Moon is here. Good morning, Moon. Thank you for the shout out there. If you guys don't already follow Moon, Moonphased at twitch.tv. Does cozy gaming as well as cross stitch. Moon, if you let me know when your next cross stitch stream is, so we can get that promoted in the chat. Good morning, Wanna, or good afternoon, I should say. Kali, good morning. Hello. Oh, if you guys aren't in the Discord, you should be. But also check out Kali's rainbow cardigan. It looks amazing. Wanna just woke up from your nap because the church nearby is the partner church from Tanzania and they made a lot of music. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. My Saturday is going pretty well so far. Okay, my ad timer is telling me that it's just constantly running ads, so I really hope that's not the case. Also, my chat box is not showing up. Good morning, Misha. Good morning. Sorry, Misha. The project command only works on Twitch, unfortunately. If you wouldn't mind just passing along that information there. Thank you. Da, da, da. Here, I'll show you. You may be aware that Toot and I just redid our complete settings. We just redid our total computer setups, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly. Okay, neither of my chats are connected. Hi. There we go. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to get my camera set up, so at the moment we're on this kind of like wibbly wonky thing going on. Interesting. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the chat. That's gonna be a future problem. Because for some reason yeah, for some reason OBS just doesn't want to show it. I've had so many OBS issues this morning. I can't even begin to tell you. Okay, that's fine. No chat. It's good. I'll put up some pictures of early or something. Because it's been 10 minutes and I haven't done anything. So, hi, good morning everyone. I hope your Saturday's going well. God, I'm up big on 2 screens. This isn't good. Thank you so much for the hydrate, Charles. Sorry I didn't get that. I'm just gonna do that right now. So yes, very exciting. I was finally able to redo Toot's PC and my PC, give Toot's PC a complete upgrade, and then basically stole all their old parts for my computer. My computer's name is Scraptrap, by the way. If you're familiar with Five Nights at Freddy's, Scraptrap is a character who is basically just alive out of spite. And that's kind of what my PC is, but he's doing better now. He's quite together now. Oh goodness. But I have 2 screens now, which is very exciting because I've always wanted a dual screen setup for streaming, but it wasn't practical in our last setup. But usually I have my camera mounted to the back of my desk right there, but that is now where my screens are mounted. So I need to figure out a different spot for my camera. Because this is okay, even though you're kind of sideways as I'm actually stitching. But if I were to leave it here, it would be super in my way actually using my desk. So I want something that's going to be like permanent that I don't have to mess with. So yeah, but that's exciting. If you guys don't know, Toot also streams. They're going to be live again tomorrow morning for Ghost Church. I'm very excited for Ghost Church because it's going to be a true test of their new PC capabilities. And yeah, cozy horror ASMR body doubling vibes with your spooky older sibling. That's what we're here for. Oh, I'm not updating Pattern Keeper right now. I don't think I can deal with anything else breaking. But yeah, so.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello.
XXX-83, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in, welcome in. It's been a bit of a chaotic start to stream, but we're doing good. We're doing good. We're being invaded. This is a good boy. He needed some attention, so he's currently messing with my camera. Okay, cool. Gigi, is it all about, is it the Gigi show now? Gigi, you want to show your handsome face to stream? Here, Gigi, yell into the mic. Gigi. Okay, he headbutted the mic. I don't know if you heard that. This is my handsome son. This is my chaos child. I had no cats, and then Toot came into my room, and now there are a billion cats. Do you love the camera, Gigi?
Come on.
Go.
Come on. Gigi.
Go on, Gigi. You're getting treats.
Come on. Daddy,
Okay. He's just sitting here now. Charles says Gigi best helper. Moon says himbo Gigi. He learned loving the camera from Uners. Yep. Mona says that's how it should be. Could you guys hear Toot, by the way, when she was yelling at the kids? I don't have, like, I used to have super duper not hearing Toot filters on my mic, but those aren't really necessary at the moment, so. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So Toot is actually real, but you guys can never see them because they cannot be perceived. Okay, there we go. Moon says gas proof of Toot's existence. I know. For all you know, Toot's channel is just me playing video games very quietly. It was so funny. We were watching Cryptic the other day, and his camera went down because he had also just redone his setup and a wire got jiggled. So his camera went down, and then he was like super focused on the game, so he went totally silent for like a solid 3 minutes, and at least 3 different people in the chat went, "Is this a Toot stream now?" When it says the cats need their own channel. Yeah, they do. I mean, they're such big personalities. I'm having executive dysfunction about what color to do next. I've been not doing this in any kind of an order. What color are your pants? Can I do your pants? I'm also missing 2 colors. So half the time when I go to Kali says green. Yeah, I went for green. Maybe after, because I don't think I'm gonna get very far with this bit of thread. Next time I'll put up a poll. Which color should I do? Yes, Toot, you were perceived. Is good to know for next time. Yeah, Toot brought one cat in, and then they all just followed. I need to bobbinate more of the 701. I thought it was 703, it's 701. As you can see, I have skeins that I just threw in here whole that need to be bobbinated. I'm not working from them unbobbinated, I just need to get to it. So good morning. Hi, happy Saturday. How's your week been? I've had a pretty good week. We got a little bit of money in from my grandmother's estate, which is why we were able to update the computers. And also bought like stuff for around the house, which means that like our house is now just a chaos of boxes again. Feels like every time I get it organized, it's like, oh, more boxes, yay. So it's like good, but it's also like, okay, here's more boxes. But that's been us for the last week or so. The weather here is pretty rough. There's a heat advisory, air quality advisory going on. So we're staying inside. Staying inside, stitching, breaking down boxes. That's about it. I got a new vacuum cleaner. I am very excited about my new vacuum cleaner. LFG's in the chat if you would also be excited about a new vacuum cleaner. She says it's more about the air quality. Yeah, the air quality is, it's not good. It would also be excited about a new vacuum cleaner. And Moon. I am. So it's a stick vacuum. The stick vacuum, but it comes with like a mount, so I can actually just like hang it on the wall. It's cordless, rechargeable, and it's bright pink. So, you know, all the important qualities you need in a vacuum. One says we have beautiful sunsets in Europe from your wildfire dust. Yeah. It's not a fun time to be outside. Especially with my lungs. I saw a really cool cross-stitch project the other day. Speaking of internal organs. Someone had had a like a really in-depth medical scan done. And they got a really complete picture of their own heart. And they actually turned it into a cross-stitch pattern, and they are stitching like a big full coverage of their own heart, which I think is the coolest thing. So I might try and get some of my chest x-rays and do the same thing. Hi, Peaks. Welcome in. Thank you for knocking over all of the things.
Drink.
Thank you for the hydrate, Ferris. Welcome in. Can I get a shout out for Ferris Domina, please? Ferris has been a long-time member of the community. They stream on their own channel. Really fun little games like that I've never really watched before. Infinity Nikki was one that they play a lot that I kind of thought it was just like a dress-up game. I didn't realize it was like your fashion choices dictate your abilities in combat game. Looks really interesting. But yeah, I'd love to do a cross-stitch piece of my own lungs. I think that would be really cool. Chelsea's saying she had fire season start before us. Yeah, the world is a weird and wild place these days. I do have a couple of like lung cross-stitch pieces saved that are very beautiful. They're just not specifically of my exact situation. But yeah. So today we are working on a cozy post-apocalypse, which was the Flossy Fox Shop Patreon pattern for June. So it dropped June 1st. I do my Patreon patterns on usually around the 8th, like a week or two into the month, because most people do theirs on the 1st and that kind of get inundated. So I like to wait like a little bit. I'll do my freebie on the 1st and then my bigger pattern a week or so later. So this came out on the 1st and I started this on the 1st. Like I saw it and I was like, I need to make this. You may notice that my colors are slightly different than what's pictured on the image up there. So Flossy Fox released it with 3 different colorways. Cozy, comfy, and colorful. So the sample is done in the cozy colorway. I'm working on the comfy colorway, which has a lot more green in it. It's a lot more like green and purple, which I absolutely love. Like not like bright purples, but like these like mauve purples and dark plums and things like that instead of grays. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed with this color palette. I think it's so well done. And like I don't usually start stuff impulsively. I do start stuff more often than I really should, but I don't usually start stuff like the second I see it. But this one I held out for like I think 3 hours. It really clicked with me. Right, Ferris? It looks so good, and it's the subject matter is not their usual subject matter, but it's still so clearly their style. Like you look at this and you're like, oh yeah, that's a Flossy Fox. But usually it's very like whimsical and magical and that kind of thing. But you still know it's definitely a Flossy Fox. It says I witnessed it. Yeah. Yep. I pulled a few different Adas out to see which one I liked the most. I have like a dark green hand dyed that I love. But I think with the amount of like greens in here, it would have just faded away. So I ended up going with this one, which the variegation in this isn't really showing up on camera. Like you can kind of see a little bit of it. And I was a little bit disappointed when I first started working on it because I wasn't seeing the variation. I hand dyed this with coffee. So there's just like, there's a little bit of tonal variation in this fabric, but not as much as you usually see in a hand dyed. It started life as a 14 count Zweigart, just like, I think ivory. It wasn't white, it was ivory. But yeah, I absolutely had to start it immediately. And like I don't get that feeling with a lot of patterns. Like I do often get the feeling like, oh, I really want to start this, or like, ooh, this looks like a really cool pattern, I really want to make this. But it's only happened a couple of times where I've been like, I need to start this right now. Coffee Possum was one of those, if you guys remember Coffee Possum. That one I started like probably half an hour after first seeing the pattern. Toot often has that reaction to the patterns that I design, which makes me really happy. Although Toot never starts anything spur of the moment. It all must go into the pattern rotation. But still, when I get into that pattern rotation with one of my projects, I feel like I am top of the world. Please hold. Sorry about that. That was the sound of my keyboard scraping. Alright, so what... What was I saying before I got distracted? Yes, whenever Toot feels the need to stitch one of my patterns, I feel great about that. There was one pattern that I did for the shop, and I said, like, do you want me to find a test stitcher? And they pretty much smacked it out of my hand. Like, no, mine. I love when that happens. Versus I may need to join their Patreon once I get paid again. These are some cute patterns. Yes, the Patreon is dangerous. I have a Patreon. You can also join that one. You don't have to. One says it's so cute when they do. It is really cute when they do. Let me... Oh, thank you for the Patreon link. I was just trying to go and do that. But yeah, we have a Patreon as well. Free members get a free... Oh, you have? Awesome. Awesome. I'm still going to keep doing my spiel, though. Free members get one pattern a month. All the paid members get 2 patterns a month. The tier 2 and tier 3 members get 3 patterns a month. And for the one for all paid members, it's one of my mini portraits. And members actually get to vote on which mini portrait they'd like to see. I just released May's mini portrait, a little behind schedule, and it was Figure and Dan from Star Wars. It was a fun one. But yeah, Flossy Fox is a dangerous Patreon. We're also in Fine Frog Stitching. Fine Frog Stitching and Flossy Fox Shop both abbreviate to FFS. So I actually have to type out which one I'm talking about whenever I mention them. Witchy Stitcher we're in. And who's the one that we're on? Coffee. Needle Lot Designs. Yeah, it's also For Fuck's Sake. So it's kind of like FFS. Because half the time that's how we feel when it's like, God damn it, we have to stitch something else now because you're freaking amazing at what you do. Heck stuff. For fuck's sake, yeah. And then the other stuff, Steph X Stitch. I meant to post a link in the Discord. I don't know if I actually did, but they've released a set of Pride Patterns freebies on their coffee. Super cute. So I need to put that in the Discord if I haven't already. Okay, I'm just finishing off this thread. I can't go anywhere else with it. Also, we kind of joke about Mama Witches being very recognizable for the amount of backstitch on them. I think the telltale sign of a Flossy Fox is the constellation backs from all the color changes. If you want to see a really nice finished Flossy Fox, then you should, again, check out the Discord. Potato Shoe Charles just finished one that looks amazing, called Rainbow Magic, and it is for their spouse JPS. So color I wish to use is currently in Toot's box, so let's not do that. I'm all over the place today. I have 906, that's also in Toot's box. 7-1, I need to buy that. I'm just trying to find a color that I have with me. Okay, 3726. Perfect. Okay, focusing. I swear I took my meds this morning. So Charles just finished a piece called Rainbow Magic by Flossy Fox Shop for their spouse JPS. Because it is JPS's birthday. So if you don't know, Jetpack Steph is Charles' spouse. They are turning 50 years old today. So I want everyone in chat to say a big happy birthday to our resident JPS. They aren't really active in the server, in the chat, but they are a very beloved member of the community. So everybody, happy birthday, JPS. Happy 50th. From us all here at the Cozy DH. Yeah, happy birthday. I was gonna like try and sing, but I'm not going to. So you can just imagine that I'm singing. Imagine it. But yeah, JPS is a really great person. And I'm really happy to. I have a couple of gifts for them here that I'm going to send over, but yeah, I wanted to wish them a happy birthday. They aren't big on celebrations or things like that, so yeah, this is just our little way of appreciating them. Right. Good morning, Wendy. Thank you for joining us in wishing JPS a happy birthday. Toot says they are an absolute gift and I feel very lucky to know them. I feel the same way. They are an absolute gift. Thank you, Ferris, for joining in. Have to shoo away some Jehovah's Witnesses. Just get out the broom. Shoo. So yeah, and that the piece that Charles made for them, it's one of the larger Flossy Fox shops, but it looks really cool. It's got like a dragon and stuff, which is why I said that like this piece feels very different for Flossy Fox. Just because of the subject matter. He just opened the door and said no thank you and immediately closed it. Yeah, I was watching a YouTuber streamer, and they just went, we don't want preaching or selling, and I just died at that. Toot's also working on a Flossy Fox. Amazing. Oh, they loved Rainbow Magic? Good. I'm so glad. It does look so good. It very much fit their vibe. Oh, you're working on Cryptid Market. I'm like, which Flossy Fox are you doing? Yeah, Toot is working on the Cryptid Night Market, or just Cryptid Market. I can't remember what it's called. But it's like a little farmer's market, but everyone is a cryptid, and they all brought their like children with them, so it's full-size cryptids and then like little baby cryptids. Bear says the only door-to-door people I want to talk to are Girl Scouts during cookie season. Everyone else can go away. We don't have Girl Scout cookies here. It's illegal. Illegal. Oops. It says I one day wish to turn someone away by going, I'm a queer witch, no thanks. I don't think that actually stops them. I feel like I've tried that. I think I also figured out the lighting situation in my office, because the last few streams have been quite blown out. So I think I've got it somewhat regulated now, which is good. Gwen says our Girl Scouts just set up a table outside the Walmart and yell at people. I think that's a much more effective way, because you're hitting people when they're already ready to spend money. When they've already got, like, bags of stuff. When they're already hungry. We get the not the Cub Scouts. The little small Boy Scouts. The little ones. They do apples. They take all the small boys to the orchard and pick apples, and then they sell them outside of Walmarts and things. Claire says for safety they're only supposed to go door to door in neighborhoods that they live in, so most of them don't bother. That tracks. And I know a lot of them sell online now, which makes a lot of sense. Charles says apples seem less fun. Yeah, I can't imagine that they make as much on the apples as they do on the cookies, but... It says back in my day. Oh. I am enjoying stitching on this though. Because it's different than what the other things that I'm stitching on, which is good. Like, I kind of need that variety in stitching style. It is somewhat similar to Star Wars, which is why Star Wars has taken a bit of a nap while I'm working on this, because I need to be able to rotate between techniques, not necessarily between projects. Boy Scouts in the US sell popcorn. Just like buttered popcorn, or like caramel popcorn and flavored popcorn, or... I like popcorn. Oh, microwave popcorn. Interesting. Gwen says, I was the 8-year-old knocking on everyone's door, being invited into people's living rooms while they went to look over the catalogs. Not even just Girl Scout cookies, but school fundraisers too. I remember those days. We were hanging out on someone's stream when we started reminiscing about those days, when you had the catalogs that sold like wrapping paper, and it was basically like an Avon catalog. It sold everything. I remember those. I actually won a prize in my school because my dad would take it into work. And my dad worked in quite a large accounting firm, and he was also one of the senior people, so a lot of people would buy stuff from him to suck up. So that was how I always did quite well on those fundraising drives. I didn't actually do any of the legwork myself. Wrapping paper, popcorn. Kali says, we did wrapping paper in elementary. My mom was my only client, and we still have wrapping paper from that time. But Gwen says, now I drive across and see signs for the high school mattress fundraiser. And I'm like, what? We had a doctor at our hospital whose daughter would load up a wagon of Girl Scout cookies and roll through the various wards and sell them. That would be good. Because, like, everybody is always hungry at the hospital. I mean, you could just set up camp in the emergency room. Because no one wants to leave the emergency room to go get food, because what if you're called up next? It says, my mom is from a family of 8, so I was very successful. Nice. Yeah, just selling to all the cousins. The only thing you ever sold as a kid for official stuff was candy bars. And yeah, Toot did Vidalia onions one year, which I think wins for the most bizarre thing to sell for a fundraiser. Like, wrapping paper seems a bit weird, but also, like, okay. But Vidalia onions, like, first of all, how many do people really need? And second of all, they're perishable, so, like, you're on a time crunch. Oh, Kali saw one the other week. You're so confused why there's all these young guys advertising mattresses. Huh. Onions are weird. Onions weirder than mattresses. Yeah, onions aren't that perishable. Like, they're not as perishable as other, as other foodstuffs. Moon did hand soap, chocolate, coffee. Toot says, no, we took orders and then delivered them by the case. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was in Tennessee. Misha says the only thing like that we get are kids dressed as the 3 holy men on Epiphany. They give blessings for your home in exchange for donations. Oh, that's sweet. That's like, that's like, mumming traditions. Toot also sold Krispy Kreme donuts. Moon got 2 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts yesterday. I almost hopped on a train to Montreal. I don't know if we have a Krispy Kreme that delivers to us anymore. Like, every now and then, I just get a specific craving for Krispy Kreme donuts. And it's funny because for the longest time, I thought I didn't like yeast donuts. So there are 2 different types of donuts. There are yeast donuts, which are like the light and fluffy, like Krispy Kreme, Boston cream, those kind of like yeasty, bready donuts. And then cake donuts are the denser ones that are more like deep fried cake. And I thought I didn't like yeast donuts because I had only ever had yeast donuts from Tim Hortons. Turns out Tim Hortons just doesn't make good donuts. And when I had actual good yeast donuts, I liked them. And Toot says so many yeast donuts around here are so fucking dense. Yeah, exactly. I just didn't have good ones. Charles doesn't really like cake donuts much. Well, I'm sorry to say, Charles, you're wrong. That was a joke. I love cake donuts. The best donuts that aren't Krispy Kreme, because Krispy Kreme donuts are kind of like a class onto themselves. Like, you can't really compare other donuts to Krispy Kreme donuts because it's a different thing. Like, if you want a Krispy Kreme, you want a Krispy Kreme. Nothing else is going to hit that. But my favorite, like, coffee shop donuts are country style, which I think is just a Canadian company. Best coffee shop donuts. Like, oh, so good. Best chain coffee shop donuts. Wanda says you were talking in riddles. Hold on, guys. I just realized that my captions aren't working. Okay, so my browser sources just aren't working at all. Interesting. Okay. Cool. A note on that. Cool. Okay, cool. Sorry. Moon says, for everyone in chat, I have a funny story. I justified my greed of getting 2 dozen because there was a promo where the second dozen was $2. And my parents and I were going to his parents today. So, and my partner and I. I thought to myself that I could bring them donuts, so it's sharing, not greed. Then, on the way home, once the deed had been done, I remembered that they're both gluten intolerant. Womp womp. So, donut party at Moon's place, everyone is invited. Nice. Charles says you can send the extras to me. When it says I ate maybe 3 donuts in my whole life. Are they just not like a thing there, or do you just not care for sweets in general? Charles says I haven't eaten one in a long time. Fried things tend to make my tummy hurt these days. Yes, but some things are worth pain. We always hurt the ones we love. The ones who love us. Moon also prefers yeast donuts and don't really like cake donuts. You know what? You like what you like. Everyone's tastes are different. I'm being philosophical about donuts. If donuts make you happy, eat the donuts that make you happy. That's all. That's all we can do. Is be happy with the donuts which are given to us. No. Seek out the donuts which make you happy. There you go. Not settle for donuts that don't make you happy. Which just says donuts always look so good, but then actually eating them is somehow disappointing. Oh, that's too bad. Alright, bye Ferris. Thank you so much for dropping in. Ben says, random, completely unrelated question. Anyone have any experience hand sewing denim? Experience, yes. Advice, no. Clancy. Hello, new friend. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, all I remember about hand sewing denim is that it sucks. Wendy says, I am now thinking that I need a donut. Go, get the donut that you deserve. And you deserve a donut just for being you. You don't have to do anything to earn a donut. Other than want a donut. Hello, welcome in. We are cross-stitching. None of my browser sources are working, so a bit of a janky stream today, but that's okay. We are stitching on a cozy Pokemon. A cozy post-apocalypse from Flossy Fox Shop. We're talking about donuts. I snuck a Make Me Bominate a skein of floss redeem in there that no one's noticed yet. And we're hydrating. So always be hydrating. There we go. Thank you for the Bobinate Redeem, Moon. Let me just get my needle back through here. Moon says the way I fumbled with my phone in panic to get it. No, just this project. Because when I was kitting this project, I had a few bobbins that were like this, so I knew that I was going to need more. So I just grabbed the full skein from our overflow stash and threw it in the project box. I've moved to using these little pencil boxes from Michaels to kit up a project instead of using a bobbin box, because I can just kind of like throw in floss as I'm using it, and then to cat proof it, and then it clicks shut like that. And then, sorry, usually I have a little label on it with what project it is. I just haven't labeled this one yet. And there's two sizes. So this one is like this is for like a larger project. And then, for example, for Star Wars. So, light. Yep, there we go. This is just a label from like what is it? A bullet journaling, like a planner sticker. And then I label it in erasable pen so I can reuse them. So this is like the size that I usually use. And you can see again, like I've got a couple of skeins in there that just need to be wound up. Okay, so let's wind some 701.
Drink.
Thank you so much for the hydrate, Charles. This maple bourbon Dr. Pepper slushie, by the way, is incredible. You may know that I can't really have citric acid during the day because it interferes with my meds. So most flavoring syrups have citric acid in them. but some don't. So we've been like going through our flavoring syrups one by one and checking for citric acid, and the maple bourbon does not have it. The pistachio doesn't have it. That's the only ones we found so far. But there is like a syrup outlet near us that we're going to check out towards the end of the month. And yeah, we're gonna do that. And then I can actually like read all the labels. It says what doesn't have citric acid in it, to be honest. Jeebus. It's hard. It is hard. And it's funny because a lot of fruit doesn't have citric acid unless it's like a citrus fruit. But things made with fruit will have citric acid because it's added to like as a preservative. So I can eat strawberries. I cannot have strawberry juice, for example, or strawberry jam. It's very strange. So yeah, I basically just can't have anything with citric acid before, like, I usually will introduce it back in around 6 or 7. Earlier if I feel my meds kick off. If you guys take ADHD meds, I'm on Vyvanse, for example, you know that sometimes it's like a gradual thing, and sometimes it's like, oh, my meds are working. Oh, my meds have stopped working. We are also running Spirit City up in the corner for the vibes. Hi, Yasha. I'm doing some audio work, but shh, Amazon doesn't know. I'm not able to listen. Alright, let's give a big hi to Yasha. I got a knot. I cannot not. Oh, it's back there. Do I want to go back? I've already pulled it out. Like, how far back is too far back to bother going? That's too far back. How far back do you guys go to fix a mistake? Because that's like 5 stitches. I'll go back like 2 stitches. And then I'll just kind of sew it in. I just make sure that like my needle goes through it a few times and then nice and tacked down. Oh no, that made my fabric loose. Moon says kind of depends if it's in the current leg for you. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, my fabric is all wobbly wonky now. I was using... I'm kind of having like a slight hoop crisis. Not crisis. But I'm trying to be better about working on multiple projects at the same time. Just because I don't have as many of the hoops that I like to use as I would. Like, I can't have every project in a hoop. I can't have every project in a hoop because I don't have that many of the hoops that I like. I started the sentence. I have no idea where I was going with it. I'm becoming very particular in my hoop likeage. And I have this green one, which is it's an 8-inch with like the grippy stuff. And then I've got this 10-inch, which is like, this is too big. This is slightly too big. If I was working on like one of my big full coverages and I didn't want, and I only had like the 6-inch available, I'd probably go for the 10-inch. But just in terms of general comfort, this is too big. This is my 6-inch. This is the one I was working on, because as you can see, this piece of fabric is not very wide. So I was working in this one. And then I needed this one for something else. Can't remember what. Oops. But our lovely Quarter Stitch Crisis actually just sent me a Nurge hoop, which I've never had one before. I love it. And I just started using that one. I'll go see if I can grab it, because it is time for our break. Let's see if I can just pop up the break screen here. Alright, if you are watching on Twitch, I'm going to run a 3-minute ad. You're not going to miss anything. If you're watching on YouTube, just hang out, enjoy the vibes. I'll see you guys back here in 3 minutes.